Hello everyone. Welcome to this episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. As fall starts, getting outside is a great idea. On this episode, I'll be talking about murals, art walks, and walking trails, plus the usual art shows and concerts. Pittsfield is especially busy during this season, so much of this episode will focus on Pittsfield. In addition, I'll be giving a review of Stranger Things, one of the biggest television shows on the planet. First, it's time for this episode's trivia question. This episode's question is, when was Berkshire Botanical Gardens founded? Now, for this episode's local headlines. First, there are many different types of murals in Pittsfield. There was recently a celebration for 8 of these murals. These included Sisterhood by Silva Lopez Chavez on 146 North Street, an original mural by Cara Patricia on 348 North Street, Young Legends by Trinity Rivard on 41 Federal Street, an original piece by Quinto on 547 North Street, and 7 Stars for Renee Ave by Huck Elling on 1 Fenn Street. These are just some of the over 20 murals located in the city. For more information, visit the website shown here. Our next stop takes us to Barrington Stage Company in Pittsfield for their final show of the season, English. Barrington Stage Company takes immense pride in bringing the 2023 Pulitzer Prize-winning play English by Sanaz Tusi to the stage. This thought-provoking production delves into the lives of 4 students who, while hailing from the same native language background, come together in an Iranian classroom to prepare for their test of English as a foreign language proficiency exam. Amid the unique challenge of mastering a new language, their journey unfolds against a backdrop of a single compelling rule: English only. The show takes place September 27th through October 15th. Visit Barrington Stage's website shown here for more information. Next stop takes us to the Colonial Theater in Pittsfield, where musician Sam Bush will be performing. Multi-Grammy Award winner and father of Newgrass, Sam Bush is a legendary bluesgrass musician known for his virtuosic skills on the mandolin, fiddle, and guitar. With a career spanning over 4 decades, Bush has become a true icon of the genre, inspiring countless musicians with his innovative playing style and his infectious energy on stage. From his early days playing with the Newgrass Revival to his work as a solo artist, Bush has always pushed the boundaries of traditional bluegrass, incorporating elements of rock, jazz, and even reggae into his music. Fans of bluegrass and acoustic music can't miss the opportunity to see Sam Bush perform live. His concerts are always high-energy affairs, with Bush and his bandmates delivering lightning-fast instrumentals and soulful vocal harmonies. Whether he's playing classics like Old Joe Clark or original tunes like Howling at the Moon, Bush's music is sure to leave audiences spellbound. With his easy-going stage presence and witty banter between songs, Bush makes every show feel like a special occasion. This concert will be going on October 25th at 7:30 p.m. Visit the website shown here for more information. Our next WWHEN story takes us to the Berkshire Museum in Pittsfield for a guided tour of the Art of the Hudson River School. This 2,000 square foot exhibition features the highlights of the Berkshire Museum's Hudson River School collection, as well as a collection of lithographs from John James Audubon. As they explore how the relationship of these prominent 19th century American artists developed with the natural world. Searching for a national style of art, the American landscape itself, large and untamed, was primarily the focus of Hudson School painters. American expansion and manifest destiny imbued the untamed countryside with the symbolism of the country's provided prosperity and limitless resources. The terrain provided an alternative to European culture and history. It became a picturesque, patriotic, and inspirational theme. Famed artists during this time period included Thomas Cole, George Inness, Frederick Edwin Church, and Albert Bierstadt. All of these artists and more will be featured at the Berkshire Museum. This exhibit is closing in October, so this marks the last chance to see this before it moves out. Hours of the Berkshire Museum are currently Mondays through Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sundays from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Admission to the museum is free for active duty military members, veterans, all educators, and children 3 and under. For additional information, visit berkshiremuseum.org/visit. It's now time for a walking trail portion of WWHEN. On their website, the Berkshire Natural Resources Council gave a list of the 16 best walking trails in Berkshire County. They are all of interest. According to the website, in no particular order, here are the 16 best walking trails. The walking trails are Hoosick Flats in Great Barrington, Steepletop in New Marlborough, Stedman Pond at Hudson Howard in Monterey, Thomas and Palmer Brook in Great Barrington, Clam River in Sandusfield, Hoosick Range in North Adams, Parsons Marsh in Lenox, Mahana Cobble in Pittsfield, Bob's Way in Monterey and Sandusfield, The Boulders in Pittsfield, Dalton, and Lanesboro, Old Mill Trail in Hinsdale and Dalton, Alford Springs in Alford, Basin Pond in Lee, Stevens Glen in West Stockbridge and Richmond, Olivia's Overlook at Yonkin Ridge South in Lenox, Stockbridge, Richmond, and West Stockbridge, and Hollow Fields in Richmond. As stated at the beginning of this segment, this list was only 16 of the trails, and doesn't even begin to describe the wonders of walking trails in the Berkshires. Our next stop takes us to Massamoka in North Adams for a concert with artist Beverly Glenn Copeland. The music of Beverly Glenn Copeland drinks deeply from the truths that in the tumult of this world, there are constants. People need each other. Every motion brushes against others moving. None of us are siloed, and none of us are still. For decades, the Philadelphia-born, Canada-based singer, songwriter, and composer has drawn myriad music practices toward a single, luminous conviction that music can shake us loose from what closes us off from each other. Glenn Copeland's new album, The Ones Ahead, his first collection of new music in nearly 2 decades, deepens these explorations, casting searching light into how all of us must dissolve the harms of this world and carry each other forward into the next. This concert will be taking place on October 21st at the Hunter Center at 8 p.m. Visit massmoka.org for more information. Next up, we will be visiting the Berkshire Botanical Gardens, where they will be hosting their annual Harvest Festival. This event dates back to the Berkshire Botanical Gardens' founding days. The Harvest Festival will include continuous family entertainment, such as a giant tag sale, a botanical bakery serving sweets, treats, chili, and bisque, a beer garden presented by Barrington Brewery, food trucks, games, craft and food vendors, an obstacle course, hay rides, a huge plant sale, live music performances, and more. Children's activities include hay rides, pony rides, a haunted house, an obstacle course, interactive music with Robbie Bones, giant bubbles, pumpkin painting, pumpkin tossing, a hay maze, hay rides provided by Meadow Farm Equipment, face painting, a hay jump, cider press and photo op, roving entertainment including live music, fire dancing performances, plus much more. Berkshire Botanical Gardens Harvest Festival has earned a reputation for being a quintessential Berkshire family event, celebrating the autumn harvest, when the 24-acre garden is transformed into a vibrant hub, featuring the family fun and over 50 regional artisan food and craft vendors. There is no charge for parking in the gardens lots. Carpooling is encouraged. Dogs, with the exception of registered service dogs, are not permitted at the Harvest Festival. No advanced registration is required. This will be going on from October 7th through October 8th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. Berkshire Botanical Gardens is located at 5 West Stockbridge Road in Stockbridge. Visit the website shown here for more information. Berkshire Botanical Gardens also provides the answer to this episode's trivia question. As a reminder, this episode's question was, when was Berkshire Botanical Gardens founded? The answer is 1934. Originally called the Berkshire Garden Center, the garden was established in 1934 by a group of local garden clubs and civic associations headed up by the Lenox Garden Club on a parcel of land owned by Bernard and Irene Hoffman. Horticulturalist Kenneth Simpson was hired of Lenox, and a noteworthy collection of prizes was soon donated by the New York Botanical Garden. Numerous gifts by other botanical gardens followed, and in short order, the garden was endorsed by garden clubs all over the country. In 1936, the garden was granted its nonprofit corporation charter, and the Hoffmans subsequently donated most of the 15 acres and the 1770 farmhouse, which is known as the Center House today. The herb garden, built in 1937 on a terraced rocky slope, designed by landscape architect Edward F. Belches, was planted with varieties of hardy and tender herbs displayed according to use, plant family, and ornamental value. It remains the oldest existing garden area there. During the Second World War, a Victory Garden there was established to educate families in how to supply vegetables and fruits for the table during this period of rationing. Canning, freezing, and winter storage classes were also offered. In 1946, the garden received a National Victory Garden Institute Award in recognition of its, quote, contribution to the national war effort, end quote. It's now time for a road trip portion to Western Springfield. The Eastern States Exposition, better known as the Big E, is going on right now in Springfield. So, for this next story, I'll be doing an extensive history of it. As stated earlier, the Big E is also referred to as the Eastern States Exposition. I'll explain its nickname later. The first Eastern States Exposition occurred in October of 1916 in West Springfield, Massachusetts, and was called the Eastern States Agricultural and Industrial Exposition. All 6 New England states plus Delaware, New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania participated. It was conceived by Joshua L. Brooks as a way to help promote agricultural and educate young people with the skills and knowledge needed in agricultural vocations. The exposition featured displays of innovations in the industry and held contests designed to encourage farmers to better themselves through competition. The Boys and Girls Clubs of America partnered with the exposition to organize youth competitions in which prizes were awarded for best produce, jams, breads, raised hens, planting techniques, and other categories. The youth component, which drew competitors from all 10 participating states, was deemed, quote, a triumph in a new type of education, end quote. An 8-day camp program was established at Springfield's Camp Vale for everyone who finished first or second in judged competitions. The exposition began to grow beyond agricultural and industry within its first few years. In 1923, the Massachusetts Department of Health built a model schoolhouse on the fairgrounds, in which free medical and dental examinations were offered. Exhibits on Native American culture were added, including a teepee exhibit hosted by Reginald and Gladys Lobin in 1926. Entertainment elements were added by the 30s, including demonstrations of automobile polo, which featured acrobats playing polo while driving Ford cars, and competitive performances by high school bands. In 1966, the exposition earned its nickname, the Big E. According to their website, the E stands for entertainment, education, and excitement. Each year, over 1 million visitors visit the Big E. This year's Big E takes place until late October. It is about an hour and 19-minute ride east of Pittsfield. There are many popular concerts scheduled for this year. Visit the website shown here for more information. It's now time for this episode's TV portion of WWHEN. This episode, we'll be discussing perhaps the biggest success of the streaming television industry. Stranger Things. This show from Netflix takes place in a fictional small Indiana town called Hawkins. When a young boy named Will Byers disappears, the town begins a grueling search for him. However, his friends Lucas, Mike, Dustin, his mom Joyce, brother Jonathan, Jonathan's girlfriend Nancy, and police officer Jim Hopper have no idea that this simple disappearance leads to supernatural activities. And along with the help of a mysterious girl named 11, they try to find Will. The show is Netflix's biggest success. But is it worthy of it? Absolutely. Each of the 4 seasons brings something new to the table. A different threat to Hawkins, more background on Eleven's mysterious past, or even bigger and scarier monsters. It is also very violent, and it is not for kids. Just because a series stars kids doesn't mean it's for kids. There are also tons of references to 80s movies and culture, ranging from Steven Spielberg to Stephen King, and other movies such as Invasions of the Body Snatchers, Friday the 13th, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. Being set in the 80s, it also has an amazing soundtrack. Several of the songs used in the show became even bigger hits in the 2020s. The biggest example of this is, without question, Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill, A Deal with God. Its use in multiple pivotal scenes in Season 4 led to a surge of downloads. In fact, it even cracked the Billboard Top 10 in America, reaching a peak of number 5. All 4 of its seasons are of great quality, but here is a brief Stranger Things Power Rankings list. At the bottom is Season 2. It follows too many of the same stories followed in Season 1, and it struggled slightly to live up to the hype. Plus, an episode where Eleven learns more about who she really is seemed good in theory, but the episode didn't really work out. Number 3 is Season 3. This is a very fun, but still scary, season. But some of the characters' personalities have changed for the worse. In second place is Season 4. This season took me forever to watch, as this season was just released last year. I waited months in line at CW Mars just to see Season 4. However, it is worth it. This is by far the darkest and scariest season. However, it can get a little frustrating at times because it is also the most involved, with plots constantly switching. The last episode in particular is a whopping 2 hours and 30 minutes long. And the best season is its first. When Stranger Things debuted in 2016, nobody knew how big the show would be. As a result, the show is more fresher, more original, because there were no expectations. The creativity really showed. You can currently watch the show on Netflix or through CW Mars. That ends this episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. If you would like to watch this or any other WWHEN episode again, you can visit Pittsfield TV and CTSB TV's websites shown here, or visit NBCTC's Facebook page. Also, if you would like to see the episodes in HD quality, make sure to check out my YouTube page at RT Wehry.